Welcome to my quick series, Jesus Yoga. Great yoga in a short amount of time. Today with a quick yoga flow for splits or at least attempted splits. So let's get started on our hands and knees. And let's start with some serious cat-cows, inhaling upward and exhaling, rounding your back. Inhale up. Exhale, rounding your back. Inhale up. Exhaling down. Inhale up, and now on the exhale, placing your feet down and come into a downward facing dog. You can walk out your downward facing dog or just stay here immediately. And then we're gonna lift up our right leg, toes pointing towards the floor. Try to keep your hips straight and parallel to the floor. Breathing deeply, and then you gracefully step forward, come into a high lunge position, raising your arms up, keeping the hands together or apart, whatever feels good for your shoulders. And then coming down further into the stretch, feet maybe a little bit further apart. And then you can lift up your arms again if you can hold that balance. Placing your left leg down, coming into Warrior 2, looking over your right hand. Breathing deeply. And then come into a peaceful warrior, into a side stretch, really warming up the body. Coming up and just turning around. Come into a high lunge, opening up your arms above your head, shoulder width apart or together, keeping your tailbone really drawn down, your belly drawn in. Come into Warrior 2, sinking deeply down, breathing deeply. And coming into a peaceful warrior. Coming up, placing your hands beside your foot, and then come into a downward facing dog. This time, lifting up your left leg, toes pointing towards the floor, and then gracefully stepping forward. Come into high lunge position again. Breathing deeply, you can keep your hands in front of your heart. Come to the middle and come into high malasana position. Deeply down as much as you can. Breathing deeply, and then come to the other side. Now your right leg should be in the front again. Come into a low lunge, placing your knee down, opening up your chest forward. Stay here or place both hands on the inside of your leg, and then you can also raise up and just draw your knee to the side. Maybe come all the way down to the elbows, and maybe even pressing slightly against that knee to open that hip further, but only if that feels good to you. Come up again, and now come into the side twist to your right side, opening up that arm, breathing deeply. Now you stay here, or you see if you can grab your left toes or foot and still staying in that twist and also stretching out the quad. Come down again, folding forward, and now come into the runner stretch or half Hanumanasana. placing maybe your feet down your toes and lifting them to get a little bit the foot warmed up, and it also, you will feel it, it's a little bit of a different stretch. Come forward again into the lunge. Come back. Inhale forward. Exhale, half splits. Come forward. Now placing your foot down, come into a pyramid position. Still your right foot is forward. Breathing deeply here. Keeping your left hand on the floor and come into the high twist with the right hand moving upward. Try to keep your hips as square as you can and breathe deeply. Placing both hands on the inside of the leg and come into a Spider-Man lunge. If you can, place your hands in front of your heart or keep them on the floor, or attempt a bind behind your back. Breathing deeply here. Placing your hands down and moving gracefully to the other side. Lift up your toes, hands on the floor in front of your heart, or you can attempt that bind again if that feels good to you today. Twisting a little bit further and deeper. Now come over the left side of your leg into the pyramid position and opening up to the side twist. Your right hand is on the floor. The left hand is drawing upward. Breathing deeply, placing both hands down and folding forward into this pyramid position. Now place your right knee down all the way and come into the lunge. Opening up your chest forward. Really feeling the hip opening up further and placing both hands on the inside of your leg if you can. Maybe come onto the side of your toe on your foot and opening up more. You can also come onto your elbows, whatever feels good for you here, to open up further. Decide what always feels good to you and listen to your body. Now come up again into the lunge position and draw the leg back into half Hanumanasana, half splits. Exercising your feet, drawing them up, and try to place them on the floor as much as you can. On the inhale, draw them up, and on the exhale, placing them down. Continue in your own pace. Now lift up your toes and hold the position. Come up into the lunge and draw back one more time into half splits. Draw forward on the inhale and back on the exhale. Come forward, lift that leg and move to the middle. Inhale straight back. You can place your hands on your knees, on your calf, on your thighs, or you can fold forward all the way and try to place your head down between your feet. Breathing deeply here. Make sure your weight is equally contributed between the toes and the heels. Inhale, lift up. back straight. Now with the strength of your legs, you rise up and move to your right side into the lunge again. Now move back into half splits. Stay here or attempt full splits. Now if you need to place something underneath your right hip, do so. You can place a pillow there, blankets, a yoga block, anything. And make sure to always draw your left hip forward. Now if you want to, you can stay here or fold even further forward and maybe even straighten your toes. You can also keep them drawn up, whatever feels better for you. I'm just showing you what's possible. You can do the same exercises we did before, trying to touch the floor with your toes and lift them up. You can also come into the twist over to your left side, really drawing your belly button. It should point forward and only the upper body and the chest move to the side. Come up again and then gently draw back that foot into half Hanumanasana. Come into the lunge position, come into a plank and moving through, placing the feet down, coming into a cobra, into a downward facing dog. Now placing your left leg to the front, into the lunge and into half splits, and you can always stay here or come into full splits. And one side may be more open than the other side, which is totally normal. That's why we need to always work both sides of our body. Place something underneath your left hip, or you can come down, of course, all the way. Maybe fold forward, maybe pointing your toes. Always breathing deeply and knowing the limits of your body. Maybe rising up and maybe lifting the toes and pointing them. Make sure you always draw the right hip forward. And if you can place your left hand on your left leg and come into the twist, but the belly button should look forward. It's only the upper body that twists. Come into the splits again, opening up. And then gently draw that leg back into half splits. And come into the lunge position. Drawing both legs back, coming in through lowered knees into the cobra again. And to a downward facing dog. Placing your knees down again. Come one more time in cat-cows in your own time, releasing any tensions in your back. Inhale and exhale, and then you lift up, rise up, and come into a child's pose. But this time, make sure your entire lower arms are on the floor, so release any tensions from the shoulders. Breathing into your lower back. Slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, rising up. Come into a seated position. Rising up your arms, lifting them overhead and hands to your side. Again, lift them with your breath, stretch. And come to the side stretch towards your right side, towards your left. Really stretching out that body again. lifting your hands over your head and again to the side. And I thank you for this great practice. I hope you had fun. If you'd like this video, subscribe, like it, maybe leave me a comment and hit that bell for notification. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day.